Hello YouTube! Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. And today, since we don't see too many videos on the Pontiac G6, we're going to do the oil change procedure. And not only will we be doing the oil change, but we will also be changing the air filter as well. Hopefully, we don't get rained out. There's been many delays this afternoon of trying to get this car done. It's been sitting up on the jack for quite a while. And finally, now that I have everything that I need and took care of a couple of other things that need to be done today, we can finally do the oil change. So, let's take a look at what's under the hood. Alright, so this G6 is equipped with the 2.4 liter Ecotec 4-cylinder. This is a 2008 G6. And being that it is the Ecotec engine, the oil filter, I can tell you already, is going to be right here on top, underneath this little cartridge cap. So at least we don't have to crawl underneath to get the oil filter down. Now, for that, you will need a specialty socket. This is actually a 32 millimeter, but it's shaped specifically for that cap, because even when the your ratchet's on there, you can see how close it is to the actual air intake, and they really knew how to make it easy for you. So this is a very important tool. If you can find something else, which years ago I've tried to use other things to get these caps off, and I've always had an issue, so finally I just kind of gave in and bought that. But at least I can not only use it on this car, but I can use it on my mom's Malibu with the 2.2 liter Ecotec. So let's begin. Once you are underneath the car, you don't have to go too far to get to the oil plug. It's right here, and it's a 15 millimeter socket. It's always kind of fun doing this one-handed. Now this thing is way overdue for an oil change, so this plug's probably going to be on there pretty tight. Ah, there we go. Not too bad. Not as bad as I was expecting. Alright. Not too messy. We'll let that drain out. It's got a nice steady flow so far, so I don't think it was actually too low. It definitely looks watered down though. So while this is draining, we'll head up on top and take care of the other couple of things that we've got to do. Okay, so actually, the rain, I believe, is actually starting to come. It's sprinkling a little bit. So, got the socket, and even where it sits in here, because of that intake, it just makes it on there. Once it starts to come up, you're going to have to maybe angle the cap a little more. And then it gets loose enough. Yeah, there we go, to hand do it. Voila.
Oh, wow.
And that thing is all chewed up. So there's nothing down in there, which is good. Now we got to pull the filter off of this, wipe down the cap, change the O-ring, which comes on the filter inside the new box. So you always want to make sure to put the new filter on there, because with these ones, especially this one being on there as long as it was, you just definitely want to make sure that you have a fresh ring on there. So we'll get to that here in a sec. And now we're going to need a flat-headed screwdriver. For me, I just use the screwdriver with the interchangeable tips, because that's really all I have right now. And then you got to pry around the side. Try to get it in there, and then got to pry that O-ring off like that. There's our old ring. Take our nice new fresh ring and just start feeding it around. Make sure it goes all the way into that top slot there. That way it's all flush. Should look like that. And then the new filter, you can obviously see the difference compared to the other one. But this end, with all these little teeth on it, that's what goes inside here. So you want to push that in there. It locks in place just like that. And now it's ready to go back into the engine block. So when you're putting it back into the engine block, just make sure you get it down in there good enough. You don't want to try to cross thread the cap. See, it's really loose now, so you shouldn't have to really fight with it. So that means it's going in good right now. And then when you start to feel it get snug, take your socket, tighten it back down. It'll stop, give it just a little nudge. That's all there is to it. I must say though, getting to this oil filter on this car compared to like the 2.2 liters for some reason, it seems a lot easier. I don't know what it is. I feel like the intake on the 2.2 sticks out a little more in that direction because I have a hard time getting in there. But on this car, for some reason, especially with the socket, it does manage to fit on there quite perfectly. So, and now we're going to do the air filter. Okay, so this air filter is in desperate need of a cleaning or a change because the last time we looked at it, I'm pretty sure I had never changed it for my brother since he's bought in this car. And he bought this car about 4 years ago now, so it's definitely it's time for a change. I was going to clean the mass airflow sensor as well, but I cannot find the spray that I bought, so we can get to that another time. But if you're going to clean the mass airflow sensor, you want to make sure to use only mass airflow sensor cleaner, and you also want to make sure that you do have a new air filter, so that way the cleaner air goes in through the sensor a little bit better, and you know. So the air filter removal on the G6 is fairly easy. There's one prong here, there's one prong there, and then you can probably take the actual intake tube off if you want to make it a little more easier, but you don't really have to, in my opinion. You can just kind of fight with it a little bit, raise it up, and the filter comes right out. So you can kind of see that we are definitely due for a new filter.
I think he has electric steering.
Yes, this car does have electric steering.
Oh, does it?
Yep. Alright, so here's a look at the comparison between our old air filter and our new air filter. And you can definitely see the difference. Who knows how long this filter's actually been in there. I mean, my brother's only had the car for like 4 years, and this could have been in there before that. We don't even know. So this just looks awful. So we'll get rid of that one, and we will throw this one into here. Now there's a little ridge here on the end, so that's the side I believe that faces, let's see, right there. So that little corner lip, it goes in like that. So we flip this over. So you want that little lip that sticks out, you want it toward the top left side of the filter, or yeah, toward the side.
That's nice.
Much like that.
Get better gas mileage now.
Probably. And there's the mass airflow sensor right there sticking out inside the tube. So like I said, I would have taken that out and I would have cleaned it, but I cannot find I can't find the spray that I bought today. So now getting this back in, you might have to fight with it just a little bit. That's why if you wanted to actually disconnect it from the intake tube, it might be a little bit easier that way. But as long as you got it sitting down It should be pretty much flush all the way around. And then once these tabs are on, that'll give it more pressure. So that should be good. There may actually be another tab there on the end of it, but I think it's completely missing on this car, so I just have the 2 tabs. So, because it does seem kind of loose, I might have to look into that. But anyway, we got the filter on there. This is on there pretty snug, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. But I'm going to look into that. Okay, so before you put your oil plug back in, you want to wipe down the threads. Make sure there's no debris in there that's going to mess up the threads. Check the seal. The seal on this one actually still looks pretty good. So, looks good. Now we're ready to put it back into the pan. You still got a little bit of oil dripping out of there, but this thing is empty for the most part, so we can put our plug back in. And then grab the ratchet. And again, I've said this on every video, you don't necessarily have to over tighten the plug, just make sure it's snug enough. That's really all you got to do. Okay, and then wipe off your excess oil. Okay, now that that's done, we can pull everything out and get the car back on the ground. Okay, so we got the plug in on the bottom, all tightened up, ready to go. We got this all tightened up. This is good, so now we just have to fill it. So the 2.4 liter Ecotec, it can take 5 quarts. So all you need is your 5-quart jug, and all 5 quarts will be perfectly fine for this engine. So you want to get your funnel. It doesn't go, the funnel that I have, I'm gonna need 2 hands probably, so we will fill it up. In this car today, we are just using the conventional 5W30. So that's what we're gonna put in it. And here we go. Okay, and then what I like to try to do is just carefully try to get some of this dust away from the oil cap, because of the way this is designed, all that stuff just kind of funnels in through there. Okay, then you can put your cap back on. And that's it. And this whole engine just needs a nice wipe down. Hopefully this summer I can get my hands on it and we'll give it a nice detail. I did a detail last year on it, and that was the last time I saw it. So you can obviously still tell how long it's been since it's had an actual oil change too. It's been a while. So okay, so now we've got the oil in and the plug, the filter, all that's good. We will take the dipstick out here in a sec and double check our level, but we should be full. And we are completely topped off.
That looks just like mine. I think that engine's almost like mine.
It probably is. We're both Ecotecs. Alright, so now that we have the oil changed, we're going to have to change the monitor. So, put the key in the ignition.
Yeah, you can spare one.
Turn off the radio first. Okay, we'll turn the key over to the on position. The message center will eventually say that the well, service the tire monitor, which, and then door jar, hit the arrow. Okay, so we're at 9% oil life, so we have to clear that. So you want to hit menu, oil life reset will come up, hit the arrow again, or you might have to hold the arrow on this one. There we go, so it'll say acknowledged, and now it's at 100%. So now we just want to start it up and make sure that all the oil gets circulated. Okay, so we have pressure, and this was yet another successful oil change. So this car's got 102,881. I'll have to tell him no later than 106,000 should that oil be changed. Sounds good. No obnoxious ticking or anything. I think she's ready to go back. Alright, so we're gonna head back and take the G6 back to my brother, who's actually at work, and they're doing highway construction, so I have to go on the highway, and of course they are doing it. As you can hear, we are also due for brakes, so that's gonna happen probably real soon, because they are grinding pretty good. Again, the brakes, I believe, are probably the original ones that were on the vehicle when we got them, or when we got it. So but overall, you know, the car, 102,000 miles on it, almost 103. Not really any major issues with it. There was a recall for the tail lights, as far as the tail lights not working correctly. So if you hit the brakes, the tail lights might not illuminate. If you don't hit the brakes, the taillights may still illuminate. So they work when they're not supposed to, and they don't work when they're supposed to. So this car was affected by that. It was fixed once already, but it's still doing it. So my brother's actually in the middle of trying to have them fix it again correctly. So yeah, this car's been affected by that. So the lights need to be fixed. Other than that, it's actually still a pretty comfortable car, and it still handles quite nicely. Actually came close to buying a G6 once. I don't know if I ever mentioned that. GT model, actually. And it was silver, and it was almost fully loaded. It was an amazing car. I enjoyed having it for a test drive anyway. But unfortunately the deal fell through, so I was not able to get it, but that's okay. Still wouldn't mind having one though. This is, even though I'm a fan of the Grand Am a lot more than a G6, this is actually still, in my opinion, one of Pontiac's finer products. Replaces the engine that was in my Aztec, actually. I've always, pretty much why I've been a Pontiac fan, it's because they handle so well. They're so sporty. They look good and they feel good. Woohoo! Oh, he needs washer fluid too. I should have noticed that. Could have gave him some. Construction. That's all they seem to want to do over in this area now. Just one long stretch of construction. We narrowed down some lanes. We got rid of some lanes. So now the traffic is all messed up in this area. There's more traffic going back, because they got rid of a lot of the lanes, and I don't even know what they're doing. What's the point of all of this? Traffic, 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 cones, 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 cones. Now this town that I'm driving through, pretty sure they do not believe in actually tearing the road up and repaving them, because every year it just seems like they patch over all the holes and that's it. So the road becomes really terrible and choppy. But in all the time that I've actually been through this part of town and everything, yeah, they don't actually redo the roads completely. Yeah, I am almost positive like he needed brakes yesterday. There's probably no pad left on this car whatsoever. So, but the oil is good, and now I'm just gonna go return the keys to him and head home in my very own car. Okay, so aside from the oil change today, let me show you something else that took place today. I actually went and test drove a brand new 2017 Ford Taurus, pretty much just for the heck of it. We were at the dealership for a short time today, and I've always wanted to drive a Taurus, so I didn't really take this camera with me, but I did film a little bit from the phone, and if everything goes okay as far as weather-wise tomorrow, I'm actually going to head back out and maybe do a full in-depth tour on this car, because it's been a long time since I've done a Taurus. So take a look at the footage that I did get today and enjoy. Okay guys, so I wasn't really planning on doing any videos today. It's kind of breezy, the weather's been bleh, but I must say, while I was out here today, I took this 2017 Ford Taurus SEL for a test drive, and I wish I had brought my actual camera now, because this car is actually really awesome. I had driven a new generation Taurus before. I filmed them before. I always thought that these were sharp cars to look at, especially with the new reface that they did a few years back. But I just wanted to say that this car is actually a very enjoyable drive. I just can't believe it, how quiet the car was, completely quiet. It handled really nice. It's very roomy. I mean, seriously, there's no bumps. You don't feel anything. You don't even hear the engine noise. But I might try to, if the weather is decent in the next couple of days and this particular one is still here, I will put this on my next MVS shoot to do a actual full feature. But like inside, it's got the leather upholstery with the contrasted white stitching. Like I said, very roomy vehicle. The SEL seems to be a pretty nice trim, because you still get the information display up on the instrument cluster there. I like the actual dash trim also. One thing I've always enjoyed about these Tauruses here is the actual sloping center stack that connects to the center console. Lots of space everywhere. Some more stuff in there. Glove box. Trunk release. Do the trunk first. Wow, Julie, look at the trunk. You didn't see the trunk yet. I think anything can fit in there. The back seat alone was very roomy too. Oh, gotta unlock it. and the back seat sits up higher than the front seats. That's also very cool. So the 3.5 V6, which again you could not even hear while driving it, so I was very, very impressed with this vehicle. And now I can understand, even though I have actually had a couple of Tauruses in the family and just in general. I mean, I've driven them before, but never the first or the latest generation. And I can see why the Taurus is still actually one of the more famous names in the automotive history when it comes to like family sedans and stuff. It's a good car. So I would drive this every day. That's all I've got to say about it. If the weather's nice enough, I'll try to get back out here and film this in more detail, but in case I don't come back, I wanted to at least document a little bit and show it to you guys. See you guys later. Alright, so that pretty much sums up the day. This is actually my first day off in between jobs. I worked my last day at my previous job yesterday, and I had today and the next 3 days off, and then I actually start my new job soon. So this is really weird because even though I'm off, it's like I'm not going back to the job that I had. So I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a normal day off. But that's pretty much all that I did today, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful to you for those who needed to know how to do the oil change on a 2.4 liter Ecotec, and also hopefully it was enjoyable all the way around. So if you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, which is my official vehicle touring segment that I post here on this channel also. So again, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.